spoke about type 3, and type 3 was IgG4. Type 3 was IgG4. And here, nickel, that is type 4. Type 4. And then we must determine here with our pretest. She is the person, the ideal person to check with the pretest. Pretest. And chromium, nickel, and so on. And we put them all in one honeycomb, lead and here lead, cadmium, and amalgam, and so on. We put in one honeycomb, and then we quantify. We are not interested at the moment the quantification of each, but we measure the burden with all heavy metals together, and then yes, here, and the cursor must be here in this range, yes, and then we start to determine here how high it is. Yes, and then fructose, only one apple and one banana, or like that, like that, you know. But fructose really is so bad, and then here I'm convinced that by quantifying here the environmental toxin, it is more than 1 billion. More than 1 billion. I feel that way, and I have my experience. And the body that cannot work exactly. 1 million of environmental toxin. And therefore, we must have patients that that is not solve the problem with 3 or 4 appointments. I think 8 to 12 appointments to eliminate all the environmental toxins. And yes, and therefore, because the body will eliminate the environmental toxin and the heavy metal, and therefore he uses a lot of selenium, of glutathione, and that is the explanation that there is a high burden of environmental toxins. Is there anything left, Shirley? Yeah, malign tumors, you see. That is only a hint that you have to go to the mitochondrial test set, degenerate malignant tumor, acetylcholine once more, it is Alzheimer, and go on.
No.
Ah, that's it, that's it. Any question? Any question? Yes. And therefore, it's a very good case. We can learn a lot of Mora and the yes, and the sad situation of the conventional medicine. We must regard all these problems, and not remove the tumor as the tumor body, and then I forget the patient. No, that's not the best way to do that. Any question to this case?
In your test, they have the arterial bundle test positive.
There is no
Arterial bundle in the heart.
Also, yeah.
You mentioned about it's due to the environmental toxin.
90%.
But in my experience, it's due to the Kosaki B4 and B5.
Yes, that was my idea years ago with Kotseki.
You're not out of vision, huh?
Yes, really, that was my idea. But really, it is funny because I have 10 Coxsackie species in my test set.
Yeah.
10. And only B, there's A Coxsackie A7, that is for the kidneys, A5, that is for the stomach, and so on and so on. They are everywhere. Coxsackie is not an old virus. It was detected in 1983 or like that, in the States, and where there was a village called Coxsackie, and the doctor found here the Coxsackie there, and therefore he called it Coxsackie. And so everybody, every medical doctor in the world knows Coxsackie, his village. Coxsackie, yeah. And then they find another one, and we have two groups, the A group and the B group. And I tested it, never find an A type for the heart in correlation. But always Coxsackie B5, B3, but in most cases, and I think the last year I didn't find any other than B4. Always B4 in correlation to the heart conduction system. Heart conduction, but and more, these are the environmental toxins. And Coxsackie is going back, and the environmental toxins, they increase, yes. Next question, or we go on with our, we didn't begin with mitochondrial. We have to stay this night here because yes, you are.
I noticed that the Yersinia, and I found out it seems to have some association with Yersinia and arthritis.
Arthritis. Yes.
Really?
Yearly. Yersinia and arthritis every time. Now you have to check Borrelia, you have to check Helicobacter, and you have to check Yersinia. There is a deep connection to arthritis. Yes. And it is in my test set under rheuma, and there is Yersinia under arthritis. Yeah.
But also toxoplasmosis.
Yeah.
And liver problem.
Yes, toxoplasmosis, that is quite another issue, but because it is not a bacteria.
It's not
Parasite?
parasite.
Parasite. And a parasite, and yes, we can speak about one day about toxoplasmosis, and because it is so much problems connected with toxoplasmosis, therefore we neglect toxoplasmosis. Yes, little children, babies are born with toxoplasmosis in the brain and so on. Oh, yes.
On your book has tell about that for the parasite treatment with the Zephyr therapy. Why Zephyr in your book?
Suffer.
Zephyr. Z-A-P-P-E-R.
We went to your clinic.
Oh, wonderful.
We started using this.
Yeah,
because
yes.
of you,
Yes.
Dr. Lee.
Yes.
Is that
Very good. Here. And you have the
chip?
the chip you have?
Yeah, I have chip. Oh, the
Oh, here. I'm a Mora fan, you know.
More
fan. But I'm not an employee of Medtronic. And therefore, that is my experience, thank you. Mycin here is a Zabo, but it is a very modern one. It is better one. And there is parasites and even bacteria, Borrelia. It is much better. It's more effective than here the Mora machine, parasites. And then you have here a chip, and it is not necessary to adjust many. And here there is written, what is written? Oh yes, here. Normally there's written Helicobacter. You put it inside, and yes, and then you start, and then here it works with electricity. Mora machine doesn't work with electricity. That is unknown. No, that is only the body on, or from other something, the oscillation. And here it works with electricity. You can adjust between 10 and 15 volt. You can, and then you measure before and after. Here the therapy you measure again, and when there is a high difference, that is the evidence that it works. And what do we do when we carry out a treatment here with Mora at the same time when there is Borrelia or Helicobacter here on the hand, and at the same time Mora and this. Mora and this. Very good. And so almost with every treatment, with Mora treatment, we adjust this too. We adjust this too. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, it's very good. It work.
With,
Thorough. It work very good.
yeah.
Excellent.
Yes.
I have to thank you.
Yeah.
Because you tell me.
yeah.
做那个 bacteria 的排除剂啊，它那个 chip 啊，所有的 chip 总共有63种 chip， 那每种 chip 都不同的 bacteria 跟 virus。但是如果说你确用 Mora 测出来有的话呢，直接放进去以后，它自动 setting 那个时间，比如说40分钟、60分钟，你用这个东西直接放在这个手的关节的地方内关穴，然后把这个两个这个什么贴片放在上面，它就给一个 electric current 的一个 stimulation， 然后把那个 virus 和 bacteria 排掉，排 bacteria 是非常好的。这个是它的秘密武器之一。
病毒号啊，病毒号 ，virus 呢？
bacteria 有效。
细菌。
对，那个 virus 用Mora去把它掉了，Mora 因为它是 DNA。
bacteria 它书上是写 parasite， 我看看哪一页，它有写到。
Yes, and here again, the protection from cancer and so on, elevates the libido. The libido of women reduces fat tissue. Fat tissue reduces progesterone, reduces thrombosis. When you have problem with your veins, and then they have so many remedies against here the veins and so on. And then check progesterone, and that is in many cases is here thrombosis, is a deficiency of progesterone, stimulates the osteoblasts when there is osteoporosis. Start with progesterone. And normalize blood sugar. And estrogen elevates breast cancer and so on and so on. Most topics we discuss, and here in the pill here to avoid pregnancy, that is not progesterone, that is progestine, is the scientific name of the artificial progesterone is progestin, the artificial one. That is artificial one. And only bad properties. Only bad. Causes depression, progestin. Gain of body hair, loss of hair of the head. Yes, progestin. And so on and so on. Increases the risk, thrombophlebitis, yes. That is thrombophlebitis. Progestin is in every pill. You have this. Only bad properties. And then you look here, progesterone, here, only good properties. Only good. Therefore, don't confuse progestin, the artificial one, the chemical one, and the natural progesterone. Natural progesterone. Yes. And here, single risk factor. Factors which increase the risk of breast cancer. Yes, nuns, they have six-fold breast cancer than the normal. The nuns in the monastery, because they're never pregnant, and especially they suffer from eightfold, I think, eightfold. They suffer from ovary cancer. Ovary cancer, the nuns. Therefore, don't go in a monastery. Then the risk of ovary cancer will increase rapidly. And therefore, and here in USA, there's a research about women who play golf. And six-fold breast cancer too. Playing golf. Why? Because of the biocides on the golf plane, and therefore, yeah, it's terrible. So many biocides. It looks really sterile in US, the golf runs. Here. Here, and mama there, breast cancer. And what can we do in complementary medicine? Look here, milk intolerance. Yes, here, the problem. Melatonin, vitamin B3. You know, everybody knows vitamin D is not a vitamin, it's a vitamin D. Everybody knows. Then it is not necessary that I explain it now. And amino acid, glutamine, leucine, and so on, and so on. Trace elements, and so on. All that we can do in the complementary medicine. Complementary medicine. But especially don't forget vitamin D3, because it is not a vitamin. It was an error when they detected it in the 50s. Yes, and then they thought it is a vitamin. No, vitamin D is a corticosteroid, we know that. And corticosteroid, here the vitamin D3 is especially important with Alzheimer, again Alzheimer. So you have the different ways how to fight against these problems. And here, neoplasm tumors of the urogenital system. Always check vitamin D3.
What's your ideas about parathyroid gland?
The parasites?
Parathyroid gland. Parathyroid gland. Parathyroid gland.
Ah, the parathyroid. Oh, it is not my favorite. At the moment, not my favorite. Yes, but I keep it in mind. once more here, we have so many tools to intervene when there is a mama CR tumor, and yes, and conventional medicine does not do anything. Here, blood sugar, when they get up in the morning sober and less than 90% and milligram percent, and because high sugar, you will nourish the cancer, but we will speak about it. And hormone replacement therapy, heavy metals, and so on and so on. And here my hormones. How often do you prescribe hormones? Yes, do you do? We do it. We do it nearly every day. And you see, that is not a stimulation. That is not a stimulation, but it is only, here you see all the hormones, DHEA, melatonin, estrogen, here at the age of 50 years they go down. And now we replace only the amount which is lacking, and therefore we recommend DHEA, most common, and melatonin, never growth hormone, because when there is a latent, a very beginning of a prostate cancer, you will stimulate with growth hormone. Estrogen, never. Testosterone, never. And growth hormone, never. And melatonin and DHEA, we will prescribe rather regularly. We will only, that the curves will not look like that, then that the curves is like that. DHEA you cannot do any harm. Progesterone you cannot, melatonin you cannot do any harm. Here, some 100,000 years ago, here